I would like to invite you to join me in walking through this doorway and embarking on a journey into the world of artificial intelligence and LLM engineering. Over the course of an 8-week journey, I want to make you a heavyweight in this field, someone who can proficiently work with LLMs to solve real commercial problems. My name's Ed Donner. I am a multi-time AI startup co-founder, and I'm a data scientist, a software engineer, and a tech leader. And I've devised an 8-week path to take you from where you are today through to being an expert with large language models. How are we going to do it? We're going to be doing it by leveling up, building on top of material, starting by looking across a gamut of models, frontier closed source models and open source models. We will build on top of them by looking at some of the incredible frameworks that bring such a low barrier to entry to be building cutting edge commercial solutions with AI, like Hugging Face, like the fabulous Gradio. And then on top of that, we will build commercial solutions like using RAG for question answering, fine-tuning our own model that will be at the forefront of what's possible today, and using agents, building an autonomous agentic AI solution that will have 7 different agents. You can count them. They'll collaborate to solve a commercial problem. We're going to do it with labs. I love the idea of learning by doing. We'll have many labs in which you'll experiment and build real business solutions yourself. Lots and lots of labs. Let me show you some of them now. The mantra of the course is that the best way to learn is by doing, and that is the plan. Starting immediately in the first week by building things which will scan the internet and summarize web pages and then turn them into brochures. And then in week 2, we'll build a user interface so that you can pick a company name, pick their website, choose a model, let's choose Claude, and we'll be able to generate a user interface that will create a company brochure for that company on the fly. We'll move on to building a multimodal chatbot assistant for a shop and then for an airline. Here is the airline one, which will have audio and also be able to generate images. In this case, a beautiful picture of the different things you can do as a tourist in London. And this will also use tools to make calls to run code on our machines. Moving on, we'll create a platform that is able to generate code using a combination of open source and closed source models. In this case, it can take Python code and rewrite it as C++. And you'll be able to put in Python code, see it, create it on the fly over here, push convert code, and it will generate C++ code, and you can then run it. And one of the solutions we'll come up with, the winning solution, will be able to build C++ code that for our test is 60,000 times faster than its Python equivalent. So there'll be some terrific results there. We'll then go on to our flagship project, which is where we'll be looking at a lot of data. I love data and I love charts, and there's going to be plenty of both as we look for a commercial problem that is able to estimate the cost of goods. And we'll be using fine-tuning a Llama 3.1 model and using the fabulous weights and biases to train our model and see the training loss decrease through our training epochs. We'll also be using RAG when we'll look at vectors of information stored in a vector database. And this is a cool visualization showing 30,000 documents in a vector data store being highlighted here. And you might be thinking to me, well, this is a 2D picture. That's quite cool. But what would be cooler? A 3D version of it. And I won't disappoint. Here it is. We'll also look at these documents in 3D just to get some insight into what it means to vectorize a document. But it all comes together by week 8 when we build our agentic AI solution. It will be a solution which is going to scan the internet looking for deals. And when it finds a deal, it's going to estimate the price of that product to see whether it seems like it's a commercially rewarding deal. And if it finds one, it will then text us with details of the price, the deal, and where to get it. And here you can see it running in action with a memory, with autonomy, and with collaboration between the 7 agents happening down here. So there's lots to look forward to. In addition to this, we'll build projects that will take meeting minutes from audio, including actions and next steps, and plenty more. Another RAG project as well. So lots of projects, and each of them with true commercial applications. So you can take what you learn on this course and apply it to your day job. So I want to leave you with one thing. For the last 3 weeks of the course, we're going to be working on the flagship project, which is to build a model that predicts how much something costs just from a text description of the product. We're going to start by building something that just takes a wild guess and it's going to be off by $341 on average. We're then going to build a baseline model, a traditional machine learning model, which is important to do because it sets the bar which you want to improve on going forwards. And our baseline model will come in at $139 off on average. We're next going to put humanity to the test in the form of one particular human, me. I'm going to try and see how I fare up, and I'm going to embarrass myself with a disgraceful $127 off on average across the products. And then I will be crushed by GPT-4o. GPT-4o will come in with a fantastic $76, beating me and beating Claude and some other solutions, and be our best so far. We're also going to then use a RAG version of GPT-4o, priming it with expert information from a vector data store, and it's going to do even better. And then we're going to turn to open source, and we're going to pick an open source model that has about 1,000 times fewer parameters, much lighter model than GPT-4o, and see how it does. How do you think it's going to do? It's going to do horribly. It's going to come in with $396 off on average, worse than taking a random guess. And we're then going to make it our mission to train this model, to fine-tune it, to try and see if we can do better and better. We're going to beat a random guess, of course. We're going to beat traditional machine learning. We're going to beat this human. And we're then going to try and see how we can stack up. How close can we get to a frontier model that is 1,000 times larger? And I'm not going to tell you the answer, but what I will tell you is that the results will astonish you. You have to see it to believe it. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I'm not sure that this course is right for me, given my background. Maybe you're thinking, like, I'm a beginner, this is going to get pretty sophisticated. And the answer is it will get sophisticated, but never fear. This builds and builds and builds. The first few weeks, we will put in place the foundational knowledge that will help take you through to the full solution at the end. You may also be thinking, you know what, I already know how to use frontier models. I already use the OpenAI API. I know the basics. And the answer is that's okay. The first few weeks will go through quickly, and you will also fill in some gaps, I hope, and you'll learn a few things that you didn't know. And then very quickly, we're going to get to some of the advanced stuff. And by the end of it, we'll be building this big agentic AI solution with 7 agents, and you won't be disappointed. So as I say, there's something here for everyone. And so with that, I hope that you'll consider joining me on this journey, this 8-week journey to LLM mastery. I want to thank you for listening to this entire video, and very much hope that you will join me on the course. I will see you there.